This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers game reviews here, following a 5-2 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins this evening. And oh yeah, I can already read exactly what everything on. I don't even have to look at this, okay? I don't even have to look at this. It just dinged. You heard that. I don't even have to look at that. I know what the online reaction to tonight's game is, and I challenge you right now, before you get in there with the comment, Mike Smith sucks, Mike Smith's got to go, Mike Smith's a disaster. I challenge you. We have said that about Cam Talbot, Laurent Brossoit, Devin Dubnyk. We've said that about, how about Mikko Koskinen last year. Now we're saying it about Mike Smith. Now yes, between Dubnyk and the new guard, we have changed goalie coaches in there. But we have not changed goalie coaches in a long while. So I'm going to ask you something here. Can you, instead of writing a dumb comment about, oh my goodness, we need to get rid of Mike Smith, he's costing us hockey games. Well, guess what? Dustin Schwartz joined the Oilers as goaltending coach after the Oilers fired Frederick Chabot on November 24th, 2014. So Dustin Schwartz, the pride at the time of Nate, got hired by the Oilers at that time in 2014. So I'm going to tell you, our goaltending has been subpar for the most part, besides the phenomenal season by Cam Talbot and what's transpiring this year with Mikko Koskinen. Everything else has been subpar. But here's the thing. Everybody would just gladly rather blame the goaltenders. Now, I'm not sitting here calling for Dustin Schwartz's job. Now, that's not what I'm getting at here. If that's what you think I'm doing, you're missing the point. What I'm asking you to do, instead of blaming Mike Smith, is ask a question. You don't get anywhere in life if you don't ask to learn. Now, the question I'm asking you is, is it the goaltenders or is it Dustin Schwartz? I'm not saying, you know what, I've said it before, fire Dustin Schwartz. I'm not afraid to say that. But I'm saying right here, ask yourself, before you sit here and fully blame Mike Smith, you got to realize we've had the same goaltending coach for 5, almost 6 years now, and the goaltending's been subpar in the entire time. Now, is it the goalies? Do we just keep bringing in the losers? Do the Oilers only hire losers? Is that what we're getting at here? Is it's just a club of losers? If it is, well, then why do we even bother watching? Well, guess what? I'm asking you to ask more questions. It's not as simple as it seems. That's what I'm going to tell you. It's never as simple as it seems. Look at Calgary, right? They're on that massive losing streak. Bill Peters goes down in that mess. And then you have Jeff Ward rise from the ashes and lead them to a huge winning streak. And man, that team looked lost on that losing streak. But look, all of a sudden, you get a different coach in there, suddenly things change. Now, that's not what I'm saying here with Dave Tippett by any means. But what I'm saying is there's bigger questions. There's things that can dog a team. And what I'm saying is dogging the Oilers in net may be Dustin Schwartz. That's what I'm asking you. Look deeper before you just sit here and blindly, Mike Smith's the worst goalie in the world. Why do I even bother watching when he's in net? Ask a question. Because guess what? Mike Smith's also had good games as an Oiler. And you know what? People have said good things about Mike Smith too. Now, this isn't a defense of Mike Smith, alright? 5-2, there are goals which Mike Smith was at fault, alright? I'm not going to pretend like Mike Smith is all sunshine and rainbows. There was some bleakness in there. But guess what? You know what? Let's just kid ourselves a little bit here. There are questions you can ask. Don't be that blind fool who just looks at the score sheet and says, this is what it is. Or just looks at the play, doesn't watch a replay, doesn't watch anything else, and just, this is what it is. No, there is more to it. And I had Tim, he gave me very good advice on that. There's always more to it. And that's very good advice after a game like tonight to tell yourself, there's got to be something more to it. Why don't I ask a question? Okay? Now, the second part to this Oilers game, and the disaster that is this whole McDavid-Draisaitl thing. Last year, I did a video saying McDavid is the biggest problem in Edmonton. And you know what? For the most part, I can still tend to agree with myself on that. The reason being is because no matter who the coach has been, we've seen 3 coaches now since I did that video, I'm pretty sure. You've seen McClellan, you've seen Hitchcock, and you've seen Dave Tippett. Well, what unites those 3? The overplaying of the big guns. And okay, well, now you're going to argue, you know what? We don't have the depth to not play them. We can't afford not to play them. Here's the thing. As soon as we don't play them together, and this was, if you listen to Sportsnet, if you watched the game tonight, you would have heard it. Kevin Quinn, gee, I wonder when we're going to see the dynamic duo back again. Guys, that's exactly. This is how delusional things have gotten in Oilers land. It's so delusional that we only think good things can happen when you have McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. And now, okay, back to Tippett. Why is he overplaying Connor McDavid and them? Well, look, do you watch the power play ice time? You know why that first goal happened? That second goal? Yeah, the second goal. The breakaway goal, the first one on Mike Smith that Oscar Klefbom couldn't get back on. That didn't happen because Oscar Klefbom doesn't know how to defend when a guy leaves the penalty box. That happened because Oscar Klefbom was on the ice for 2 minutes and 10 seconds straight. You hung your team out to dry because you're overplaying the top guns. Now what? Okay, you know what? Here you go. Oh, Tyson, we don't have anybody else that can play on the power play. I'm sorry. Yes, you do. You just haven't done it. Gaetan Haas, Alex Chiasson on the top unit with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Klefbom. Sound simple? Sounds simple. Second unit, Nurse, Bear, Nugent-Hopkins, Neal, Nygaard, Kassian. Throw in whatever fifth man you want. We have a couple. Gagne. We have 3 fifth men that could very easily make that a volatile producing second power play unit. But instead, the Oilers are stuck in the same rut that we've been stuck in that have cost us games last year and then now are costing us games this year. We're refusing to make the necessary changes. And that's not by any means me sitting here saying, fire Dave Tippett. But sit here and ask yourself, what can the Oilers do better? Not what the Oilers can do worse, or not what are the Oilers doing wrong. Ask yourself what the Oilers can do better. And that's what I'm saying. Better deployment. Deploy the players better. Stop going to the well. Because you know what? The well is tired. The well is stale. The well isn't working. Okay? Simple as that. You sit here, you realize, you know what? We've rolled the same 14 forwards for about the last 15, 20 games, I'd say, since we sent down Colby Cave to the AHL and haven't played him since. So, like, what are you expecting here, right? How do you get a different result if you're running the same thing every night? And that's exactly what I was really annoyed that Kevin Quinn did. Guys, I am a big fan of Kevin Quinn and Louis DeBrusk. By no means do I have any misgivings against them, but I was annoyed tonight hearing, wonder when we'll see the dynamic duo, because, guys, it is such close-minded thinking to think that the Oilers can only come back in a game, can only do something if the dynamic duo is out there. Now, you know what? I'm not saying, you know what? Okay, they weren't back together. The Oilers lost this one, so why am I even arguing that? It obviously is like that because, guys, we only see this result once, right? We only see the dynamic duo not out there together in the dying minutes on the top line 5-on-5 once. But every other time, it's by the halfway through the third period, into the third period, we're gunning them out there. And that's the problem. Is you can't succeed if you don't give yourself a chance to succeed. And as I said in the stream, as it was pointed out by guys who weren't just caved in on themselves because the Oilers were down 2-0 early, is the simple fact that it's easy adjustments. And that's the frustrating part. By no means am I angry at losing. By no means am I frustrated that we're not going to make the playoffs. No, that's not what it is. It's frustrated that we can't make the easy adjustments to stay where we are, right? Right now, we're sitting in that third spot. That's the Oilers' home. Third or fourth in the Pacific Division is home this year for the Edmonton Oilers. Don't kid yourself. I said it in my season preview, essentially, my bold predictions. I said the Oilers will finish fourth or higher. So my expectation was no lower than fourth. Fourth was my settling ground. You know what? Okay. But here's the thing. You got to play hockey to stay there. And it's just simple, silly things the Oilers aren't doing to stay there. And it starts with coaching. It starts with player deployment. And it starts with fans asking more questions rather than being closed-minded and saying, we have problems, we have problems, we have problems. Find a solution. You know what? Don't talk to me about the problems. I know what the problems are. I'm a fan just like you. Let's talk solutions, all right? A 5-2 final against the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight is what it is. Let's talk some solutions. Let's discuss what this Oilers team can do to be better instead of Mike Smith sucks. We can't do anything if Mike Smith's in net. Guys, you've said that a million times. We've said that a million times. You know what? I've said that a million times. But guess what? It's time that we change the conversation from closed-minded thinking to open-minded thinking of how to solve these problems. Because trust me, I'm not ready to sit here and indulge in another loser's circle about the Oilers. The one great quote, I can't remember it 100%. It hangs in the wall in a junior B dressing room I know all too well. It's losers gather in small groups and complain about the coaches. Winners come together as a group and find a way to win. Okay, I'm going to apply that to this Oilers fandom thing that we've got going on here, is we can either all just sit here and indulge in losing, complain about it, and just be negative all the time, or we can come together as a fan base and look at solutions. Now, obviously, as I said, a solution is maybe we start asking, really, why is Dustin Schwartz still here? Not saying fire him, but maybe it's time to have that open conversation. You can have an open conversation about a guy's job. We do it with coaches, head coaches of the NHL all the time. Why can't we do it about a goalie coach? Number 2, why don't we start discussing what kind of line deployment will get the job done? Don't just throw together lines. Justify it. Tell me why. Tell other people why your opinion is what it is. Don't tell other people they're dumb when they have an opinion. Actually engage and have a thoughtful conversation. That's the key here, is we can either just crap away and be miserable again this year, or we can look at what would make this Oilers team sensibly a better team. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. It's not even a game review. It's your post-game rant. I am up on out of here.